This video is brought to you by GlassQuest Hand-Blown Art Glass Studio. GlassQuest Studio made 300 glass floats for the 2017 Great Northwest Glass Quest. The Great Northwest Glass Quest is an annual event that takes place February 17th through the 26th at local participating businesses and parks throughout the Stanwood and Camano Island area. For event information, go to www.thegreatnwglassquest.com. In this video, Mark Ellinger, owner and lead glassblower at GlassQuest Studio, will be demonstrating the process used to make a limited glass float treasure for this year's event.
Here's Mark getting ready to gather some glass out of the melting furnace. We only melt clear glass in the furnace. It's 2,000 degrees, 24/7, never gets shut off. Now here I am marvering the glass on a metal table, which is called a marver, and then I'm going to blow some air into the pipe while the glass is hot. You always start out by blowing a little bubble out of the pipe so that it makes it easier to blow air into the glass later. Now I'm going to go over to the bench, use some compressed air to cool off the first gather so that I can go in and get some more glass over that. It takes 2 gathers of glass to make the glass floats the size that we're making for the event. Now I'm rolling through special color. It's a clear powder that we put on the glass that gives the glass its unique texture. This is one of the colors that we use that makes our floats different than anybody else's. Now we're putting on another layer of color. It's the background color that will create some more texture. Then the colors are melted in a glory hole. And then I'm putting on another layer of color that creates even more texture. And then back into the glory hole, which is about 2,300 degrees, to melt the color. Now I get it nice and hot, and I'm going to pick up the main bodies of color that go on the outside of the glass balls. Most of the glass balls have 2 separate sides of color, and that's what gives it its unique design and contrast for the design. So I'm just holding the glass in front of the glory hole in case any pieces fall off. They don't go inside the glory hole. There's the other 2 sides of color. I'm going to slowly melt these colors in, and then a lot of times we will pick up some other accent colors that go over those colors. Now I've got those colors melted in. I'm rolling it on the marver very carefully to try not to fold the colors, and I'm actually putting a twist on the design as I roll. One direction, it slowly twists. This is how we get the swirl pattern in the glass on the glass balls. Now I'm getting it nice and hot, and we're going to put a twist on the end, which will be the top of the float, with a tool called diamond shears. This is how we get that really nice swirl on the top of the float. The design actually goes one direction at the top and then changes direction and twists the other way at the bottom of the float. Now I get it nice and hot. Use the marver to shape it. Get it nice and even. Put a little point on it. Keeps a little more glass at the end of the bubble. And then start blowing some air in there and get the bubble started into the glass. You can see it getting bigger right here. Then we roll the bubble on the metal table, cooling off the glass where we want it to stay thicker. And then blow a little more air in there, get the air in the glass just right. And then we can go over to the bench and start to blow it out. We have a hose that we hook on to the end of the blowpipe, and then the other end of the hose goes in our mouth. And we can slowly blow air into the glass. Right there I'm squeezing down with a tool, it's called jacks. And this is where it'll eventually be broken off of the blowpipe. Slowly blowing air into it, trying to make sure that the glass ball is nice and round. If you blow too fast or too slow, it won't be round. So I'm cooling off where I squeezed it down a little bit more. And now we're going to put a fume on it, an iridescence on the surface. This is a unique process that I do to a lot of the floats that makes them very different than other people's. And now I take another pair of jacks and I'm cooling it off where I squeezed it down earlier. Puts little cracks in the surface so that it breaks off right there where I squeezed it down earlier. Now we're going to cover up that hole and the sharp spot with some hot glass on the end of a pipe. It's called a punty. And we're going to put some special color that we're using for the limited glass floats only. There's that color getting put on. Melt that in, and then bring it over. And we put that right over where the hole is and the sharp part of the float. And then those shears make a cold spot on there where it cuts it. So we have to take a torch and melt that away really good so that the stamp will take on the impression and the letters will show up really nice. And then we have another little tool that we tap on the top, makes it nice and flat so that that can actually be used as the base. And then we put the glass balls into a annealing oven. It's about 950, 75 degrees. And it stays in there for 24 hours. There's the finished stamp.
Good luck to all the questers, and thank you for questing. Thank you to all of our sponsors that keep the event going each year. Go to glassquest.com to see a full list of our current inventory and upcoming events.